right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to watch a video that was just released about 20 minutes ago on the Nacy Guthrie case. So let's check that out real quick. And then we're going to shoot over to JLR's, see what's going on over there. Let's copy this and let's paste it over here. All right. Yo, Debbie. Let's listen to this video and see what we got here.
Today's show host, and the second ransom deadline is nearing, just a few hours away now. After over the weekend, family members said that they will pay, that their mother is valuable. They need her for peace. And so we are continuing to track this investigation. Still a lot of questions, a lot of things happening over the weekend with this that we've been watching closely. And so we want to bring in Jamie Copenhaver, a former sheriff's detective and investigator, one of our law enforcement experts that joins us often here. And Jamie, always good talking with you. We appreciate you joining us today.
Good to be with you.
So a lot of things happened over the weekend. I wanted to just kind of get your take on where things stand now. As I mentioned, it is day 9, more than a week now since the disappearance. And obviously just a few hours away from a deadline,
Debbie.
7 o'clock Eastern, believed to be that.
We should be there. I should be in my squirrel suit, hanging out in the bushes. All right, so we're going to watch this video. They're talking about some things that might have happened. Deadline, I believe, is over with, depending on what part of the world you're at. You know, JLR made a good point there. You know, what time zone are they in? It might have come and gone 4 hours ago. That's true. All right, let's watch a little bit of this.
The second ransom deadline, 5 o'clock Mountain Time. So where do things stand in your mind as time continues to pass in this case?
Mass, if you will, right? Today is the deadline. And, you know, the interesting part, Garrett, over the weekend, the sheriff on Friday announced there would be no more press conferences unless it was something substance. So, you know, was that by design? Was it maybe tipped off by the FBI to, hey, let's stop the press conferences and maybe put some heat back on the abductors or kidnappers? So I thought that was interesting. You know, we're hearing rumors that it's upwards of $6 million that the kidnappers are wanting for that ransom in Bitcoin. We know that Savannah and her family came out in a video and said they were going to pay the ransom. It's unknown if they've already paid it. But I think the burning question in this is Nacy still with us? And are they simply paying the ransom to get her remains back? That's the unfortunate reality that we may have to look at.
I want to get your take and talk about some of these things that we did see, because we did see quite a bit of activity over the weekend, an increased police presence again. You mentioned the video on social media. We also have learned that investigators appear to have searched a septic tank in the backyard of Nacy's house and on her property there. And then investigators also on the scene of Annie Guthrie's home over the weekend. So what do you make of this kind of spurt of activity? I also want to mention that we don't have on the graphic there a car and a camera on the rooftop that were found. What do you make of the kind of spurt of activity in this?
You know, the sheriff has came out as early as today and reassured people they, according to the sheriff, have no suspects. But I find it very odd they go back to the sister's house, Annie's. We know that they searched that house without a search warrant. So the family, at least, Garrett, is cooperative. They didn't have to petition a search warrant. They give them permission to come in and do that. I'm hearing they had a particular interest in the garage. There were a lot of flashes going off that reporters on the ground saw. So there were a lot of photographs taken of the garage. And as I understand, one of the bedrooms. So I found that interesting. Oddly,
Yes, very interesting. And what also is interesting on JLR's channel, You can hear Brian Etten asking people, did the police need permission to go there? Did they need a warrant to get on the property so they can search? But this guy is saying the police were given permission to, so that's interesting too.
Enough, and let me point this out. I'm hearing a lot of chatter about a Circle K within a 4-mile radius of the house. They've been to that Circle K a number of times to look at video footage from that parking lot and inside of the Circle K. So I find that very interesting. It telegraphs to me they're working leads. We just don't know what the.
That's true. And that Circle K video did, I believe there's a video out there showing a vehicle that they were in. So this makes sense. The police start investigating it and they see a vehicle on footage. They track the vehicle to a house. Yeah. Now, whether that was her vehicle, meaning Nancy's, or was it someone else's vehicle? Because they did take a car in the case. So that's interesting.
The leads are and where it's going to take them.
You talk to me about the process in something like this, because as we have seen, the house was initially a crime scene, and then it was cleared, and then another day last week they put more a crime scene tape up. Since then, investigators we know have been back out at that scene. They towed the vehicle that was in the garage. We know that they have also, as we mentioned, found that a wired camera from a rooftop. That appeared to have been a new development there, and so I'm just curious, what would lead investigators then to kind of go back and do some of these things at that point, as opposed to maybe making some of those discoveries or processing some of those things to begin with.
I don't want to point my finger at the sheriff or the agents out there working that, but the sheriff has owned the fact that he says he released that crime scene way too early, and I agree with the sheriff. Subsequently, the FBI has boots on the ground. If you look at the timeline of when that search was stopped by the sheriff's office and when it picked back up, that was when FBI arrived on the scene. So I'm going to suggest to you that FBI got out there and they wanted their own evidence team to go out and look for clues and samples of evidence, right? A lot of conspiracy theories on the internet about the floodlight and the camera on the roof. Maybe it was a clue by the kidnappers, right? You can look here and find the camera. I don't think that is accurate. I think what it is good police work and good field agents and special agents from the FBI doing a thorough search, Garrett. So they climbed up on the roof.
Well, I agree, but here's the thing. A lot of people are upset and can't figure out, and I'm one of them that can't figure out, is why that property was left open and not contained and locked down. They kept going there. They'd put something up, a police tape, then they take it down and leave. And now I understand what this guy's saying and some of the other people that why wasn't that place locked down, period? As soon as they had some kind of a inkling of there was possibly a murder there or a crime scene because there was blood and stuff like that. So that's interesting. Where did the blood come from? Was it there? Or was it planted there after the police left? Don't know. Who knows? Do you think that if that was blood and they're thinking that, and this is all adding up, folks, that, it's a Ransom, that was her blood struggle, she could still be alive, and you got blood, you got no body, but possibly a crime scene, and you don't lock it down, and they got people coming, going, police coming, going, anyone can go on the property. So I can understand what people are saying.
They found those items of interest and took them. Shame on the sheriff for doing that, but it was his call. He's owned it. But the better part of this is they've went back and secured that house and searched it again with the evidence collection team from the FBI. So I think that's a plus in the case moving forward.
Obviously, we mentioned that the second deadline that is just a few hours away, about a little less than 5 hours now away. And like you said, we don't necessarily know kind of where things stand. We know the family members have said they are willing to pay. Obviously, this investigation, I'm sure investigators also continuing to turn over every rock they can to find Nacy independent of that, just in case, because we still don't necessarily know all the details about whoever may be writing these letters or what the situation is with that. So, I would imagine the investigation, the search for her continues, in the background, kind of independent of whatever may be happening with that ransom.
What we're not seeing, and they never get the credit, right, are the evidence collection teams, the analysts, the lab analysts that are performing tests on whatever samples law enforcement's sending to them in this case. So they're working around the clock in terms of the science.
I agree with this guy. What aren't we seeing in this case? And that's exactly it. We're not seeing forensic teams out there fingerprinting the house, the door, the crime scene being locked down, and forensic coming in and investigators or whatever to test blood or fingerprints, to collect data, to make entry in the house, see if there was a camera, a phone behind, something left with, computer with camera data on it. And we just didn't see that. We seen police out there, but nothing like a lockdown, dusting going on for fingerprints and stuff like that. We just didn't see it. Fingerprints on, what if they did break the cameras? What if it was someone tall reached up and grabbed the cameras and broke them? Was there fingerprints on the cameras? Numerous things. Yeah, Debbie, people all over the place. Yeah, I can understand how people are upset.
Science, right? What I've not heard a lot about is the pacemaker. I know there's some rumors that pacemaker could emit a signal that would help in locating Nacy. I spoke with an expert yesterday, a cardiologist, and he said it absolutely does not emit a signal. It's Bluetooth. So, that's going to be a failed attempt, I believe, to find that pacemaker in order to find Nacy. I think the case is going to be solved on good old-fashioned police work. I think it's going to be solved on science and evidence left by the kidnappers in this case. The blood that was found on the front stoop, that was proved to be Nacy's, and that blood sort of stopped after it was, you got off the porch. There were no more blood trails, so that tells me that a car was there. They may not be a ring door camera at Nacy's house. It may have been destroyed, but that's a pretty affluent neighborhood. And I can assure you they've already went and collected all the video from those doorbell cameras, plus the Circle K and et cetera. So let's pray they have some leads and get this resolved today, because that deadline is scary, Garrett. We don't know what the consequence is that was noted in that ransom letter.
Yeah, that deadline is scary. And beyond the deadline, even just as time continuing to pass, not only does the risk, increase for someone like a Nacy Guthrie, but also just the increased difficulty of getting answers and this case coming to a conclusion and resolution.
If you listen to language experts and body language experts, they say it looks very grim based on the family's videos they've released. I know, coming from an interview aspect from being in law enforcement for many, many years, to me, it was a sign of defeat in that latest video. Everyone had their head down. They're grieving. So, we don't know what the end result's going to be. The bigger question is, are they truly having open or some type of communication with the captures of Nacy? We don't know that. It hasn't been released. They were some potential signals in those two videos from the family that they may be responding to whatever the kidnappers have communicated to them. We don't know that. We're speculating. So a lot to be learned on this case. Let's hope they get it resolved, and let's pray that Nacy gets home safe and stays with us. That's the big thing.
Yeah, Jamie, how does that process work if these, if they are looking to to pay these,
In those 2 videos from the family that to me, it was these videos they've
increased difficulty of getting answers, and this case coming to a conclusion and resolution.
etc. So let's pray they have some leads and get this resolved today, because
There's JLR. This is Florida Live, right? So JLR's got to be on camera. This is a real news company out there in Florida. Real TV news place. And they're out there reporting. And JLR's got to be there. That's JLR right there. Red shorts, all dressed in red. That's him. You knew he was going to be in that shot. He'll get back home and be a star. We seen you out there, JLR. Yeah, that's me, guys. And I'm go Big Red. Oh, well, all right, let's move along on this. Enough playing around and joking.
These, suspected kidnappers. How does that play out as we get closer to that deadline?
We all watch the movies of a kidnapping, right? It's we'll meet you at First and Elm, bring the bag of money, set it in the trash can. That's not the case here. We're dealing in cryptocurrency and technology. I am nowhere near a crypto expert or a blockchain expert, but I spoke to one yesterday, Garrett, and he says that Bitcoin is traceable, but it's hard. It's sometimes difficult depending on how it's set up in the blockchain. The other question was, if they paid the ransom in cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, once they receive Nacy back in whatever state she may be in, can that payment be stopped? And the expert I talked to at the University of Florida said, no, it can't be stopped. Once it hits the wallet, it's their money. So, I don't know. I'm praying the feds have a way to track this, and they're doing the IP address and all the, the data on the communications, and hopefully they're a step ahead of us and they know a lot more than we're.
Well, that's what I'm thinking, Debbie. She was on blood thinners, so a paper cut, she could have bled to death. Did someone take her to the hospital? Did these guys even check the hospitals before they went crazy, or did somebody try and, I don't know, I would be checking hospitals out there. Maybe someone did drive her to the hospital. But it's funny how the blood trail, was the blood trail in the house? Or was it on the front porch and that's it? A couple drops on the front porch and you can't find no more blood around there? Then that's kind of fishy. That's kind of fishy. Yeah, well, Debbie, she bruised real easy. Her arms were all bruised up, her hands. Maybe she bruised easy, or maybe she had some kind of a sickness that caused bruising, or broken blood vessels or whatever. But it looked like it was bruised halfway up her arm, her hand, and all halfway up her arm.
Reporting, and these people get caught soon through technology.
Yeah. Last thing here, Jamie, before I let you go, we mentioned that, we haven't had new details from the Pima County Sheriff's Department in several days now. We said they won't really, hold a news conference or give updates until they have something substantive. What are you going to be watching for? And could, like you said, kind of the next steps as this deadline nears, maybe making some sort of payment, help investigators potentially kind of track down who might be responsible?
I was thinking about that very question. What would I do as an investigator? I would almost want to make some type of small payment, right? A test payment. Maybe get a proof of life. And here's another thing too. I don't like using the proof of life thing at this point in the investigation. It's Garrett, it's a chance of life. Is there a chance our mother is alive? And I would almost hope they would send some type of test payment with that Bitcoin to maybe have time to track to see if they can trace that transaction, right? I'm looking for obviously a press conference by law enforcement today, or even a second or a third video from the family stating, okay, we've paid you. It's been really, really cryptic in their communication. So I would be looking for hopefully some type of message from either the family or the sheriff confirming, the ransom has been paid and here's the status of it. I don't know if we're going to get that, but I certainly.
No, this dude's right about that. That they should have got proof. Send a video of my mother in the video, and we'll pay you the money if she's alive. And it is my mother. 6 million is nothing. We'll pay it. And we didn't see that. Oh, surely they're just not going off an email and trusting in that. Now, my question is what kind of Bitcoin does Bitcoin have insurance on it? Meaning, if it's stolen, Bitcoin replaces the Bitcoin. And this all could be some kind of a giant insurance scam, maybe. It's possible. If the money is guaranteed and they were scammed, they could prove it, they might get the money back or whatever. Or it might be insured.
Would be looking for that.
Jamie Copenhaver, former sheriff's detective and investigator. We always appreciate you sharing your expertise, and thanks for joining us on Florida Live today.
Always. Thank you.
All right, we're at JLR's checking it out. I'm way behind on his live, so he's streaming, but I'm way behind. I had it on pause because I didn't want to miss anything. So this might be up to date footage. Fair Use Act, 1979 or 78. Debbie, when was Fair Act? 1978 or 76? One of them two. One of them Fair Act things. Debbie Fox says her grandma was on blood thinners. She broke her nail off, ended up in because she lost so much blood. She ended up in the hospital because she lost so much blood. Yeah. If you're on blood thinners, yep. You can get a nosebleed and die. School bus. All right, we got
Entertainment
generators.
Tonight's here, People Magazine's here, Daily Mail's here, National Enquirer, People are here, Radar Magazine, those publications, mainstream media, local media, even media from KTL. I saw KTLA here from Los Angeles. You got Los Angeles media. You have a lot. Unfortunately, I can't go back and read the other super chats. I know people said something, but if you could just put it in the chat of what you said, I will read it. It's hard for me to see things that are coming through. I'm not on StreamYard, so I apologize for that. But I do appreciate everyone that has contributed. Your support helps us stream what's going on out here in real time. And
Well, we're doing our job as YouTubers, getting your information out there, JLR, in your coverage. This is your show. Don't you worry about anything. We'll handle Dolly Vision. Don't worry, we'll pull every plug on it. Joking. I'm joking. Debbie loves Dolly Vision. All right, but let's get back to being serious here. Debbie Fox, what do you got? What do you got in the field? Debbie Fox said means nothing unless there was blood inside. I know, Deb. Why didn't they let us know? Hey, we had a blood trail. Something happened in the house. It came out. It ended on the front porch. That's it. We don't know if someone picked her up and walked her somewhere or what the deal is. Hopefully somebody checked the hospitals out there. If no one checked the hospital and this little lady pops up on, what's all the commotion? I was just at the hospital. This is going to be unbelievable. Debbie Fox said Amazon drivers. They're very interesting. Or did it start on the porch and lead into the house? Exactly. How come we're not seeing that? How come we're not seeing forensic teams coming in there and quarantine the whole place out? This is now a crime scene. No one on the property. No one, we don't know. We don't. How come they're not doing prints on the cameras? Dusting for prints on the doors, the handles inside the house. I don't know. We're not seeing it. It's just not. It ain't adding up, Debbie. And yeah, well, did they drag her inside? We don't know. If we have a blood trail in the front of the house. It leads into the house. It don't lead back out of the house. Yeah, what gives there? Very interesting.
if it's fact, Nancy's still alive and being held captive. No presser at this time scheduled. Not today. So it's been a minute before they last gave a press conference. It's been days now.
RNs work around the clock. So does WGU. Our 1-year RN to BSN program is built for busy nurses. Start on the 1st of any month and get 24/7 access to online coursework so you can balance life.
Sorry, folks.
It's been days.
Debbie, can
Hoping
you hear
this is
the
over
video?
soon, Liv says. Liv, thank you. What we're going to do is each and every day, need be, we'll be out here using this as a staging point, talking about the case. I'm sure Pima County Sheriff's going to be out here. Media is going to be out here. We'll continue to cover this until Nancy's found, at least for a while. I mean, but at one point, I don't know if media is going to just pack it up next week or the end of the week and just say, well, we'll just wait for there's an update. don't know. Everyone is just on standby. Everyone's just on standby. Like everyone's just like waiting. It's like we are Nancy's family too, and we're waiting for that call. We're waiting for that like important news. That's what it feels like. Like we're all part of Nancy's family too, and we're here and we're waiting for any news. Any news. We're waiting for any news. Bring her home.
Well, I agree with you there, Mr. JLR. I mean, you know, I don't know if it's like you're their family or anything, but uh, yeah, it's just horrible. And you guys are waiting on the next big story, the next big thing, the call, whatever. And it's a waiting game now. If you're in that business of reporting, it's a waiting game. It might be a week. It might be who knows. Hunkered down. That's all you can do unless you get, you know, other signs that something has changed. Uh, you know, uh, it's hard to say. But there's a lot of things missing from this case. I agree. A lot of things we're not seeing that we should be seeing. You know, good question there, Debbie. Makes no sense taking her out in the garage. Well, there was a garage, and it very well could have been connected to the house, Debbie. You know, good question there. Yeah, she went put out. Seen was out there assault on her porch. Took her out the garage. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Maybe, maybe they were there waiting when she got home or whatever. They knew she was going to be alone. Valdez said she was abducted by Ernie Shell. Well, that's impossible because I did check that. And Ernie Shell lives in some kind of a nut hut right now. So there's no chance of that. But I like the way you think, Valdez. Keep going. And there might be room here for you because you're thinking with an open mind. And it would be sensible to think Ernie Shell kidnapped and he was cracked out or methed out or whatever. But he didn't. So this channel is not saying that. We have no proof. As we know now, he's in Shutter Island. It does make more sense, though. Yeah. Yeah.
All over. Wow. Appreciate that, everyone. Appreciate that. Appreciate that for sure. Everyone.
Yeah, we're doing our jobs, JLR. We're helping you out.
Whoa. Yeah.
They got generators out there and
All
everything.
watching. Wait. You want a water or anything? No. You good? You want any food? No. Got the care package. I'm going to be right back, folks. I'll step back. I'm going to step away for 1 second. Check.
No, that's it. Okay, good guy. It's like, I don't know if you're following the story around there, but good guy. No, he doesn't do this money. He doesn't do it for. He's like.
Debbie. Yeah, JLR's on fire out there. All the women are. Is that? Who is that guy? It's JLR. My God, I thought it was him. Such a strapping man. Yesterday, a woman walked up and go, "Here's my phone number. If you need anything, Yankee blanky or anything like that, some baloney money, just stop at my house. I'm right over there." Debbie is the man. Let him soak it up. He's on cloud 9 right now. You see him walking around there, his shoulders back. He's kicking over tripods. Out of my way. JLR out here. I think he was telling the police how they should be doing their jobs.
Clicking those things, man.
I know, he's always
You know,
like,
there's a
stop
deal.
on
Yeah.
stuff. Get myself in
No.
trouble all the time.
Every time something starts moving on your screen, you expect your phone, control all delete. Pass down. Things,
Start deleting all that stuff.
skip that one out so it doesn't continue to do it. I mean, that's.
Yes, Debbie. Kicking over tripods. He's like Godzilla, I heard out there. God, what is it? It's JLR investigates. Get out of there. Get your cameras out of the way. You'll knock him over. Making sure he gets his footage. Walking behind the camera scenes, unplugging wires. My God, everybody's down. And then all of a sudden you hear JLR. It's JLR investigates. I'm the only one here with a rolling camera or anything. I don't know what happened over there with that problem over there. The only one getting any footage is JLR.
Pretty sure. That shows you how much I never go live. One day, that
Okay, so
like a collector, like when they sit in the paper and stuff, he brings all the stuff right now.
Ransom was 6 million, Valdez. It was 6 mil. I'm waiting for one of these people to walk up and be from the Branch Davidian. You get off of their land. We took her to be sacrificed to the great Olabagaluga. I mean, this is so crazy. That's what I'm waiting for. Mormon to show up. This is God's curse on these people. Valdez said he wouldn't have paid this. He wouldn't have paid it. If he had the 6 million to throw around, he wouldn't have paid it. I mean, if I had 6 million, I probably would negotiate with the guy. You know, that's all I got. How about I give you 2.5 million, half of it, or like 3 million?
I'm on the nursing graduate now.
Oh, you do? Like, okay, mom, you can't do this.
Yeah, now she's like 60. So from a different gender, you know, she was born in 47.
Oh, right, my mom's
She's yeah, they don't
yeah, my dad, my mom,
July, born during the month of
Yeah, yeah. You know, when Bitcoin started, people claimed it was a Ponzi scheme. It wasn't real. It was like another real estate Ponzi scheme or something. What, Debbie? Oh, Chauvina evoked her Fifth Amendment. What the hell? Who? Explain that, Debbie. Who are you talking about? All right, here comes JLR. It's like Godzilla. Let's see what he found out.
Had to go get myself a energy drink. We got a few hours till it gets dark. Still out here in the scene, seeing what's up. It's 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock, folks.
JLR is like
well, no.
Ace
Want a menthol?
Ventura.
oh, no, thank you. Thank you, no.
You're welcome.
Is it menthol?
I don't know, what are they? Menthols?
Menthol.
Menthol. What did I say?
Well,
Menthol. I don't know why I said menthol.
Yeah. So, okay.
Update time. Well, that's what we're doing. We're waiting for these updates. I'll scour around. There's a couple reporters that I think are doing a fantastic job out here. Obviously, you know, Brian Anton, News Nation. Also, check out Michael Ruiz with Fox News. Oh, he posted a picture of the prayer circle. This is what I'm talking about. There was a group of them. This is what I was talking about. Michael Ruiz just posted this. This was earlier. There was a group, but I saw a group of 7. Here's 3. But there was a group, and I guess other people joined at one point, but it was a prayer circle around the mailbox, and they were actually praying for Nancy's safe return. So that's pretty good. Pretty good. We went down there to go check out, but by the time we checked out, they were done.
Well, amen. Hopefully she does come home. Well, hopefully she does.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Well, Debbie, that means nobody will find out the truth. If she goes ahead and pleads the fifth, that means she don't have to say nothing. We'll never find out the truth of Horror Island, aka Epstein. Well, what do I think? Well, I think it's a waiting game now, and it's going to be a while before we find anything out, unless there's a press release, and I don't see anything scheduled from police. But you have to remember it's an ongoing
Sorry?
case.
No, no, you're good.
Yeah, I got it, Debbie, showing that she's pleading the fifth. Well, that ain't mine. Return to sender in Jesus' name, amen. Break all curses and demonic stuff and witchery and sorcery, amen. All right, I think we're going to end this because I think it's a waiting game now between media and the kidnapper or whoever's orchestrating this. Who's the mastermind behind it? If it's all fake, who was the mastermind? Who kept it going when they knew it was fake? You know, did
We're
they do it?
reviewing the video again, Savannah.
Debbie,
She
did
likes
you
to
know?
think she's still alive. Nancy, your mom, she's still alive.
JLR is watching a video of Savannah saying that they think her mom's still alive. She's Savannah saying she thinks her mom's still out there and they need her help. All right, folks, hold on 1 minute. We're going to go straight to the horse's mouth. One of my reporters out in the field has sent me some information. Let's check this out.
We believe our mom is still out there. We need your help. Law enforcement is working tirelessly around the clock trying to bring her home, trying to find her. She was taken and we don't know where. So I'm coming on just to ask you, not just for your prayers, but no matter where you are, even if you're far from Tucson, if you see anything, if you hear anything, if there's anything at all that seems strange to you, that you report to law enforcement. We are at an hour of desperation, and we need your help.
That's new video from just the last hour and a half from Today anchor Savannah Guthrie as they search for her mom, Nancy. We're in, I think, day 9 of this search. And what's interesting is the fact that she's pleading. And when she said a desperation in the hour at 5 o'clock today, in half an hour, well, less than that, this is when they were saying, we get the money or we might hurt her.
Yeah, as law enforcement continues looking for her, a purported deadline for a ransom of $6 million is, as Christy just said, drawing painfully close. Lee Waldman now has the very latest on this desperate search.
We beg you now to return our mother to us so that we can celebrate with her.
Outside of the home of Nacy Guthrie, her community is coming together, laying candles and flowers. Guthrie's possible abductor or abductors are believed to.
So they want her mother back so they can celebrate with her. Well, that seems kind of weird. And the video we're seeing that we just seen that was just put out is almost like she's asking the public for help. Like if you've seen her out there, it don't make sense. Does that make sense? I don't know. It don't make sense.
Who have sent purported ransom notes threatening her life if a demand for $6 million is not met by 5 p.m., according to CNN affiliate KGUN. A first demand deadline reportedly passed last week. KGUN reported the ransom note included a threat to Guthrie's life. Her children, Savannah, Annie, and Cameron, posted a third video over the weekend pleading for their mother's return.
This is very valuable to us, and we will pay.
Every kidnapping I've worked has been the same. They want their money. They want to stay anonymous. And so that is what's going on. And the family is stating, hey, we'll give you the money. Just show us our mother.
Law enforcement officials were at Nacy Guthrie's home Monday morning. This weekend, they were seen examining a septic tank nearby. The Pima County Sheriff's Department said the investigation is ongoing in multiple locations, and they will guard the 84-year-old's home at the request of her family. So far, no suspects or persons of interest have been identified. Authorities are still asking for tips and information.
In the background.
This is crazy. They have no idea who did it. They have no. It just don't make sense. So we know this much. That vehicle, the one big giant vehicle on JLRs, wasn't an electric truck. It was a septic tank pumper outer, or might have been used for utility to suck out, out of a tunnel or something, maybe. Yeah, it might be very painful for Miss Savannah, yeah. Let's see what else we got here.
Nothing stops. They're still getting leads. They're still getting tips, and they still have their own investigative avenues where they're learning a bit more each day as they dig into this.
I'm Lee Waldman reporting.
One of our off-duty.
Tell them I put the stick there. Oh, I also found clothes, all kinds of clothes.
Yeah, that
That
like
could be old.
lost you from
No,
stuff.
it
Yeah,
was.
no, it's
It
definitely.
was lost then, but nothing was Nothing was fresh. If that makes sense.
It's cloudy out there.
You're absolutely right about that, Larry.
Yes, sir.
But of course, I didn't see any new clothes or anything that was, you know. No, just until I found out. I was right. That's the chief person was one phone line. The rest of them were here. Yeah, okay.
Well, I don't know. I think there's a lot of witchery going on here, a lot of spells being casted around us on me, use brainwashing, a lot of madness. In Jesus' name, I pray to return the sender to this madness because it's just great. It's just too much. You know, I felt pretty good yesterday. Lord, thanks for that day, but now I know that it's some kind of a demonic thing or something because you can't feel good one day and then, the next day you feel like you got 50 people trespassing. I don't know. It's beautiful by me, Debbie. No, it's beautiful by you out there in the country. Yeah, Cash Patel is supposed to be coming out there, so I think we're all safe, and this case will be solved real soon. Widow Cash, the Viking killer, he's on the case. We don't have to worry about it. May the Valhalla Bala gods be with him when he goes out there. Yeah, that's what he said. Send them all to Valhalla Bala. I have no idea where that is, but that's where he's sending all these people. Let them all drink mead. I have no idea what mead is. If that's coffee, then send them to Bahala Java coffee, coffee business or whatever. I went to Walmart the other day and I seen that Black Rifle coffee at Walmart. I was almost tempted to get some, but I didn't want to, I didn't know how potent it was. Didn't want to end up bouncing up out of my apartment right through the roof there. It's like bear. Debbie Fox says it's like bear. Nah, let them all Bahala drink their mead, which is bear. Debbie, a lot of people still questioning what happened to the great, incredible Miss. What was her name again? I forget her name already. Oh, the great and beautiful Miss Magnolia.
I ain't gonna lie. I had to play it against my kids so they all have to get it. Silly. I brought it up myself. I put that. Yeah.
Oh, landed its camera right in front of us. I just want to acknowledge some people. I see some comments coming through, so thank you very much. Amber Frazier 7322. Thank you. Calvin and Aubrey 3370. Thank you. Very grateful. Thank you. If I'm not reading everyone's comment, I really genuinely apologize, folks.
Just for the record, you don't read anybody's comments in your chats. Very rarely. But you're right. Yeah, he's busy now, folks. Oh, what a busy day it is. I'm tired. That was a busy day. Of course, I'm in pain again. I have no idea why. I don't know. Maybe I ate too much pizza or something. I don't know. Too much crushed red pepper and Parmigiano. Brago is the cheapest right now to buy, Valdez. Frago is the cheapest, 99 cents for a 24-ounce bottle. It's either 99 cents or if you want a Pepsi, they're $3.89 out here for a 16-ounce. I don't know about you, but I'm poor. You know, I'm poor. Now, what are we going to see tonight? Who knows? We'll see once the sun comes out and all the meth heads come out of the woodwork out there on what kind of night it's going to be. Who knows? Hopefully she's home. Hopefully she's at a hospital. Hopefully, a lot of things. Oh, we're missing something. What's going on here?
Been a photograph, there'd have been something, a lock of hair, a drop of blood, something mailed to somebody so they can verify, yes, in fact, these people have my mother. Kidnappers want to get paid quickly. They don't want this thing to linger. If you're negotiating with another drug dealer in South America somewhere, it could go on for a few weeks, a month, until they get bored and decide this is not worth it. And it's either pay up or we're going to kill this person. And it's always a negotiation, right? The first figure they throw out is never what actually gets paid, like any good business deal. There's going to be a negotiation, but it's going to be a fast and hard one. And there's been no negotiations. No one's called up today.
No negotiation. So that's something we don't look at the cactus. There's cactus behind it. There's all types of stuff. This terrain is rugged. Is Nacy out there in this particular area? Was there a kidnapping or not? Is all the kidnapping all a hoax, a lie?
Wow. Unbelievable. Did you hear that, Debbie? Wow. Well, she could be out there. Depending on her condition and how much charge she had on her pacemaker. if she is out there and there's she didn't have a full charge, or she didn't have certain medication, if she didn't take this within a couple days, she would have went cuckoo, whatever, and died or whatever. So, I don't know. It's pretty crazy if you ask me. There has been no communication. If it was a drug dealer, the guy that we just heard, that's true. If it was a drug dealer or something like that, and then making it this huge of a thing, and everybody knows now, that's now you're taking a risk. So they wouldn't want that. They wouldn't want to be seeing this on the news, right? They just wouldn't want to see that. The more time, the more bigger this gets, the more chances of someone getting caught, or and that's something they don't want probably. So fake, real, who knows? We'll find out in the end after it's all said and done. They're running either out of time, either someone's lying and they're running out of time with medication and the charge on her pacemaker, if that's the case. Uh, Drug dealers, yeah, I don't know. Why would they? Are you telling me it's that bad that these people are kidnapping people in America? And then, yeah, I'd say that's a problem. That'd be a problem. Yeah, them cactus are nice, Debbie. Them cactus are nice. It is like that in Texas. I've been out to Texas too, uh, but very deadly. I'm not joking. As they speak right now, there is literally scorpions probably in them bushes, in the trees, everywhere. I've seen people walk in the desert and they fall out of, or even around houses out there in California, out west, and everything, in Arizona or whatever. And scorpions fall out of the trees and everything. It's crazy, it's the wild west. Very deadly, rattlesnakes and everything. I mean, you think about it, scorpions should not be here in this country, but they thrive out there. That is something that was brought here from another country, or when the great flood happened, somehow they made their way here. Maybe they made their way here, and then there was a great earthquake and it separated the land, and water filled in. They couldn't get out, so they stayed. Who knows? I say we deport the scorpions too back to wherever they came from. All right, I think we're going to end this now because I think it's just a waiting game of someone saying, you know, this needs to end. You know? We'll see. Maybe they write it out. Maybe someone will contact. We don't know. But even if it's fake, the government should be tracking to see who's sending these letters or trying to scam people. I hope they just don't let this go away. You know, because other people can be victims of it. folks, I'm going to end this video. We will be back with more information. Let's see if JLR is talking. All we're hearing is generators. I think we're going to end this. We'll be back with more of this coverage. Folks, I posted JLR's channel and the channels we watched in chat and description. Make sure you go over there and sub and subscribe. Great channels. And I'll be back shortly. Now there went a lady. Looked like she had some bajunky junk. All right, you folks have a good night.